Blessed to be a part of your day. Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio. Phone number is 580-5436, 580-KIDO. And we start with Cindy. Good morning, Cindy from Caldwell. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Kevin. You know, adding to that list, and you don't give him much credence, but you know, I was so disheartened by some of your callers yesterday trying to, I will say, rationalize and make an excuse why I'm 72. They're elderly, whoever, would not consider even voting for Donald Trump. What is, are we following the John McCain? You know, why even listen to someone who's loud and bombastic? You know, good thing we had a Patton and a Winston Churchill who may not speak as eloquently. I come from the East Coast, and, you know, it's tragic to me in working in so many elections that, you know, people, you could give them fact after fact. I will say evangelicals, a lot of them get it. The moral vote, who's not supporting Planned Parenthood, who's supporting traditional marriage. But even if you didn't go there, even if you cared about our borders, our language, our culture, even if you read something, instead of having a vote for the other party, I was so disgusted. Last night I go, I'm going to go find a movie that has the most family values out there, that a man's being a manly man. So I go to see Skyscraper. And at least that man, you know, is trying to protect his family. There's so many places that you could argue or wrestle or try to reason with people. And even in the people of Idaho, I mean, I won't even go there. So I have no big sadness in my heart. You know, I go to the council meetings. It's usually me before the meeting. I don't see anybody around. You want to speak up, say something. But, you know, a shout out to Ground Zero, Clyde Lewis, last night. You know, I came home and I turned him on. And, you know, he was
Now, Cindy, hold on. Where are we? You're talking too fast for me this morning.
Well, I am going from trying to go.
You went to a movie, and now you're talking about Clyde Lewis.
Yeah, because he is a manly man, like the manly man in the movie last night.
I think you just like. I just think you like his deep voice. I'm Clyde Lewis. I'm Clyde Lewis.
No, he was supporting our president and talking about ethics. He was talking about,
I don't think we're talking about any of that. So can we get back on the topics we're talking about?
Well, I think you are. You're talking about, I mean, really do I? Well, you know what? I guess you know you're right, Kevin. You're talking about Roseanne Barr. I could care less. Seriously,
well,
that's where America's
now you're
at.
calling in to say you can care less. That kind of derails everything.
Well,
you might be a saboteur this morning.
Well, I didn't pick the topics you did, because you pick a ridiculous conversation. Then in the America Today, somebody has to do is say, I'm sorry, and it's a done deal.
I would say that more people are talking. I would say that more people are talking about Roseanne Barr than Clyde Lewis, with respect to Clyde.
Well, I'm sorry to say that I do listen to your show. Yeah, that's because he was talking about something sensible. I agree with you. The foolish talk you start out with, I mean, I won't go to the gentleman, but the foolish stuff that he says.
Now, hold on, Cindy.
Yeah.
I want you to listen to this, and you tell me if this isn't compelling. You ready?
I'm ready. Go.
Okay.
I hate everyone equally. Oh, I was so mad. Well, I was filming this thing to, my real apology, which followed it. But everybody was like, well, you're not addressing this correctly. And so I just lost it, and everybody started laughing. So I go, put it up there. Well, of course, I look back and go, come on, Sean, get real. I mean, it cost me everything. No, I wish I had worded it better. But I'm not going to let them tell me what I meant. And that's what makes me so mad, because I know myself and I will speak for myself. And I won't have, any people who don't share my culture tell me what I meant. In this world, it seems as if words matter more than actions. But in the real life world, actions matter more than words. And my actions over 30 years as an artist and a comedian, I've always been against the abuse of power towards all marginalized groups.
I thought that was fairly powerful.
Boring. I really couldn't care less about what she has to say. I really do. I mean, you want me to be something I'm not. I am a born-again Christian.
Some people
My
say that about.
forgiveness is in Christ.
Whoa, Cindy, why are you yelling?
Because
why are you
I'm so
raising your
sick of
voice? I'm
people
trying to have a
saying-
conversation with you.
Well, I'm trying to have a conversation
Well,
with
no,
you.
you're
You're
yelling at me is what you're doing.
Well, it's boring.
Well, people
I'd
say
much
that when you
rather-
call in, it's boring.
Well, that's okay, Kevin. No, they won't have. Well, Joe's going to call and answer me. I'll be leaving soon. And really, after your callers yesterday, you wonder why your state's going blue. It's really just such a great piece of my heart. And
well,
the only
no,
thing
I want
have
you to expand.
say-
I want you to expand on that because that was at 580-5436.
Yeah.
What did you make? You said you wonder why your state's going blue. What do you mean by that?
Well, you know what? From the callers that I spoke with when I was calling for Raul Labrador, and from the people that called in yesterday about why other people vote what they do, I just say have at it, Idaho. I worked very hard in other elections, and you purport, the government school deal. You will get people with a mindset to go liberal. You have two very liberal colleges, one in Caldwell, one in Boise. You have people that aren't going to vote for someone because he's got a loud voice. I'm just sort of done with your identity politics. It's as much here, which I guess totally shocks me. As
Well, now why are you mad
Washington.
about Idaho and such? I thought you liked Idaho, and now you're saying our identity politics. Well, I'm trying to figure this out.
I thought, you know what? Because I guess I was more naive to think that it is really in, I will say, your spirit or your soul, but the same things and the same agendas that happened and why people voted the way they did that I spoke with in the state of Washington are here. So I guess, I have to go back to what I first started out doing, which had nothing to do, quote, as you say, politics, but much more interest in spending my time talking to people one-on-one and reasoning with them about forgiveness.
So you're retiring from politics.
Right. Oh no, I am getting an absentee ballot because I am doing that. I've already been down yesterday. See, everybody out there, it's 45 days if you're going anywhere.
Well, you know what Terry from State College, Pennsylvania just said.
Would you want me to say I care? But go ahead, say it.
He says you need a boyfriend.
Actually, I won't. My best friend is Jesus Christ, who forgave my sins.
I'm just saying what
Terry said. I don't need an earthly friend. I know where I'm going, and that's so much more important to me than what I'm doing now, except to hopefully, even for people out there that I totally disagree with, whether it be their culture, their ethics, that they do come to a saving knowledge of Christ.
Sure.
That's really what I've learned in being in Idaho, that's much more important to me, that even trying to get people facts about elections, a lot of people are just going to go do what they're going to do. And I guess I found that out in the state of Washington, but it was as evident to me.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if we've solved anything here this morning.
I'm not into solving anything. I've already solved my relationship where I'm going. And I just wanted to give a shout out to Clyde Lewis because you really speak about him, and he had a great
and Clyde doesn't really speak about us. So.
Well, actually, he was supporting, if you were on Message yesterday and listened to him, he was supporting everything politically and what's happening in this nation.
All right, Cindy.
So that's it. That's all. I will tell you in Russian because I'm done with the Spanish thing here.
You're what? You're going to tell us in Russian. All right, Cindy, God bless. Thank you. Now, a lot of people say, Kevin, that was 9 minutes. 9 minutes with Cindy. I was trying to have a conversation. People are fired up today. She's very passionate. Speaking of passion, let's go to Doug in Mountain Home. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Doug.
Good morning, Kevin. Yeah, I'm sort of like Cindy talking about Roseanne Barr, about like having a case of burning hemorrhoids to me.
Well, that's a great visual this morning.
Well, that's how I feel about it. Them people are a bunch of sick freaking jerks. They ain't apologizing. They're just apologizing because they got caught. Period. They're just like the Democrats. What I'd like to ask you, and then I'll get off because you're not talking about it. I don't know if you caught any of that stuff off of Sean Hannity's show yesterday about Paul Ryan, the Speaker of the House, not wanting to carry on with the congressional hearing committees not wanting to help impeach that freaking jerk, whatever the crap his name is. One of them they've caught with all this crap.
Oh,
For the
Rosenstein. You
FBI.
mean right? You mean this?
Yeah.
Since I got
Here's Paul
involved,
Ryan.
have been getting a lot of compliance from DOJ on the document request. We do not have full compliance, and we have to get full compliance, but we've been making tremendous progress to that point. Do I support impeachment of Rod Rosenstein? No, I do not. I do not for a number of reasons. First, I don't think we should be cavalier with this process or with this term. Number one. Number two, I don't think that this rises to the level of high crimes and misdemeanors, a really high standard.
Back to you, Doug.
Yeah, well, there you go. He doesn't think high crimes, and they're trying to steal this freaking country, Kevin, and they're doing a pretty good job of it. The Constitution and everything else. And if you'll look up, I think I told you once before, because I don't know how to do none of this. I just was at my neighbor's, and she did it. OpenSecrets.org. And he then punch in freaking George Soros' name and that jackass Paul Ryan, and I don't care who it is, every freaking one of them Republicans that ran against Trump in the 2016 took money from George Soros. And Paul Ryan was one of them. And I bet you, if you look up Jeff Sessions' name, the same thing. They're as dirty as any of them freaking Democrats. They're dirty. Get rid of them, people. Pay attention to what's going on. They're stealing your country, and if you don't think they won't kill you, Steve, the liberals, they don't care who you are. They got an agenda. It's called Take America and Ruin It. That's all I got to say, Kevin. Bye.
There we have it, 580-5436, 580-KIDO. So we have 2 no votes for the Roseanne Barr, Sean Hannity interview, and we also have this.
Do I support impeachment of Rod Rosenstein? No, I do not. I do not for a number of reasons. First, I don't think we should be cavalier with this process or with this term. Number one. Number two, I don't think that this rises to the level of high crimes and misdemeanors, a really high standard.
Your reaction next. Time to get up and start the day, everybody. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. You know, when I hear this intro, I just think of all of us in a room dressed up in 70s polyester, kind of like the Solid Gold dancers from back in the day. If you don't know who they are, you can Google those. And, liberal Steve clad in his polyester. Tea Party Bob just dressed up as John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever. The Solid Gold dancers, the Kevin Miller Show dancers. We've got Liberty Linda, Cindy from Caldwell. The gang's all here. Anyway, I hope that visual brightens your day this early in the morning. Kevin Miller with you. Phone number's here, 580-5436, 580-KIDO. So we will get to the impeachment concerning the Deputy Attorney General. But first, our old friend Sean Hannity had a rather contentious interview with Roseanne Barr, and Roseanne says, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean it." Let's take a listen, and going more and more on the double standards between conservatives and their speech and liberals and their speech. Look, you just can't say things. There's a group of individuals that made fun of somebody who's running for office in an East Coast state, right? They made fun of his religious attire. So they got suspended. The world is different today. You can't offend people, which makes doing talk radio much more difficult than it was, 4 or 5 years ago or 20 years ago when we started this great adventure, 23 years ago. I don't know how you do a talk show without offending people, but that's the way it goes. So let's take a listen. Remember, Sean Hannity, weeknights at 3, right here on KIDO.
Let me ask this. This also impacted, and I know that you tweeted out, this was the biggest, I actually have the numbers, I think after they watched with DVR viewing, 27 million people. I mean, this is not...
Yeah, and of course I want to apologize to all of them, too, and say, you've heard my explanation, the first part of this show, and I hope you'll try to understand me and accept my apologies for the part in this big misunderstanding.
Let me ask you, you also did it at like 2:30 in the morning?
Yeah.
You were on Ambien.
Yeah.
Were you drinking?
Yeah, I told you that. It was
I didn't
Memorial Day. I had 2 beers.
Just 2?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you
I
take
can't
Ambien
drink.
a lot?
I can't drink.
Do you take
2 beers.
And there's a whole other...
There was a whole lot of other physical things going on in my life, too. Now, do you want me to talk about that?
Well, I've actually...
I actually have
I've read
it
a
right
lot
here.
about... Yeah, I just saw what you did. Okay. I've read a lot about you, and it's actually... I didn't know all of this.
Oh.
You have said in the past, you said once to Larry King that you suffer from multiple personality disorder.
Well, I don't suffer from it anymore.
You don't.
I enjoy it.
You enjoy multiple personality.
Now.
Okay.
More on that in a minute. Let's get your reaction in real time. Nick in Star with Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Nick.
Hi, Kevin. Thank you for taking my call.
Thanks for calling in, brother.
Yeah, Roseanne, and I've been looking for you at the Merc, by the way.
Okay. Well, thank you. Go ahead, please. Nick?
I'll meet you, but you could definitely tell she had a rapport with Sean. I think Sean did a good job bringing her back around. You know, she got ramrodded. She got, you know, the hypocrisy, as my wife and my 12-year-old son was watching last night. He's like, why is she being interviewed? You know, I didn't tell him why he's a little young. I didn't tell him why the show got canceled. He saw the tweet and everything, and he's like, wow, other people say stuff like that about, you know, our president every day. The level of hypocrisy that Ben Cooper, Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, all the other talk shows, I mean, they get away with, the late-night talk shows get away with murder, and Roseanne has one bad thing and just gets, you know, loses everything. I feel really sorry for her. I think she did a great job.
Well, I think it was great that she went on with Sean and, you know, cleared the air.
I think so as well. And, you know, he kept asking her for an apology to Valerie Jarrett. I thought that was kind of uncomfortable. She's already apologized. How many times do you have to apologize? I made a mistake. You know, look at Slick Willie. You know, I never had sex with that woman. And then, you know, it comes out he never apologized to her. Well, he sort of did, you know, 4 years later. The hypocrisy. It's okay for them to say all this nasty stuff and then, you know, oh, I'm sorry, and get away with it. You know, look at the people on The View, the things they've said. Why are they still on the air?
Oh, I totally agree, Nick.
Just amazing.
Well,
Just amazing. But thanks for taking my call. I'm going to try to get down there to Independence indoor shooting one of these days when work schedule allows and meet you face-to-face.
that would be great. Until then, hopefully we'll bump into each other at the Merc.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Traffic and weather together, KIDO Talk Radio.
I'm just Channel 7's Eric Everett.
And Kevin Miller in the morning here. Phone numbers 580-5436, 580-KIDO.
And you said that, well, you just do crazy things and you don't really know you do or don't want to do.
Well,
That's what happened in your life?
No.
Or?
Well, I guess it does if you're drunk.
You called it, do you get drunk a lot? Do you have
No.
substance
No,
abuse?
no.
You
wouldn't.
also once said...
I'd love to develop it, though.
You'd love to develop
I like
an alcoholic?
drinking,
You
yeah.
like drinking. You wish you could drink. You just said
Yeah.
you can't drink.
I know. I have no tolerance.
I take 3 kinds of antidepressants every day.
Yeah. No, 2 kinds now.
2 kinds.
One's a blood pressure pill, so that's 3.
Okay.
I take an antidepressant and a blood pressure pill, and then I take some more antidepressants.
Then I read in the Seattle Times when you were out promoting your book, this is in 1994, your father abused you sexually,
Well, that I'm
your
not.
mother psychologically, that you would cover yourself in ketchup, lie on the floor, play dead until little Roseanne cried because of allegations your parents would deny they...
No, that's wrong. I put the ketchup on, laid on the floor for a joke, for when my mom came in and she'd think I was dead.
How old were you when you were sexually abused?
Well, now I have a whole different view of that.
You don't think you were sexually abused?
I think I was emotionally abused. And,
You said your mother's psychological, your father's sexual.
yeah, everybody in my whole family's messed up.
Do you think you really, serious question, because you've said in multiple interviews that you had multiple personality
Yeah.
disorder. So I guess the question then is, Do you think that any of this plays into, like, I have some, you've had crazy moments. Let's just be honest. We'll call it what it is.
Well, you shouldn't call a mental health patient crazy.
Okay, you've had some very...
In fact, that's one funny thing that Tom Arnold said. Never call a crazy person crazy.
Crazy? Oh. And that's an interesting
But I have
story.
mental health issues. Yeah.
How are you... How bad have this gotten for you with that?
Terrible.
How bad? Tell people.
As bad as it gets.
You ever institutionalized?
Honey, that's like going to the beach for me.
Seriously,
I've been hospitalized a lot. Yeah, several times. Yes.
You think in a lot of ways, I love comedians. I've watched everyone from Richard Pryor. I watched Chris Rock. I watch every stand-up comedian. I watched you and everybody. And it seems, and I might be way off base saying this, and if I am, tell me, that the creative
You're
genius...
way off base.
Thank you.
No, okay.
The creative genius for comedians, it's like their blessing is their curse. It's like they have this ability to be funny, but...
And being a creative genius.
No, I'm serious.
No, but I know I am. But anyway, no, but I am.
No, you're a domestic goddess.
Yeah.
Understood.
That part of your psyche or brain is really close to the madness.
There you have it, Roseanne Barr and Sean Hannity. From the Sean Hannity Show, courtesy of the Fox News Channel. Remember, Fox News, when you hear it on the radio, you're listening to KIDO Talk Radio, 107.5 FM, 580 AM. And, you know, whether you're a creative genius or you're just someone trying to get through the day, you feel for Roseanne. And I do, just listening to that interview with Sean Hannity describing these things. She's been incredibly blessed. It doesn't excuse her actions. And as Nick said, you know, there is a double standard. And many years ago, I had a chance to be on a CNN show with Greta Van Susteren. And it was Greta Van Susteren. It was a couple of young ladies in their 40s, maybe 50s. And we were talking about that conservatism, because of our connection to morality and ethics and family values, we will always be held to a higher standard. It was 6 weeks before September 11th. I told people that Rudy Giuliani should not be the mayor of New York because of his extramarital affairs and getting thrown out of the mansion and everything else. But I do believe that, not just partisan-wise, but in our beliefs, we have to be held to a higher standard. We have to consider ourselves role models. You know, the garbage that is perpetrated in music today or in videos and popular culture, it is the most dangerous form of imagery designed to corrupt the minds of the young people. We see it politically with, you know, more people embracing socialism. Who would have ever thought in the United States of America that we would have people legitimately saying that socialism, the abdication of freedom, is the way to go? That's what we're up against. Won't you join us? Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Maggie.
Good morning, Kevin.
Well, how safe are your food? The foods that you're eating. Let's go to Eben Brown, Fox News Radio. Live from Miami, Florida, with some disturbing news about chickens and ducks. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
It's kind of like going back to the old time radio where you're having the poultry report. What's going on with the backyard chicken and ducks, Eben?
Well, there's been a number of salmonella cases of small children, children under the age of 5, and I think even 30 or so have had to go to the hospital. And investigators have determined that these kids got sick from handling baby chicks, baby ducklings at either in backyard farms or petting zoos, at birthday parties, things like that. And just a renewed warning to make sure that after a kid handles an animal like that, make sure they wash their hands or use hand sanitizer. And then when they're done with the event, really give their hands a good scrubbing. Don't let them put their fingers in their mouth or in their eye or, anything like that, just to avoid getting salmonella, because it's not pleasant.
Certainly with the fair season in Idaho across the country, that is good advice.
Well, yeah, because this is the time of the year where there are a number of states, they have like their state fairs or maybe a bunch of county fairs. And look, the petting zoo has always been a staple of those things. And really, for the most part, they're pretty safe. And it's a cool chance for a lot of kids to interact with a bunch of animals they normally won't see beyond their household, dog or cat or hamster or whatever. So everything is, it's still a safe thing. No one is saying don't take your kids to these petting zoos. But just, be smart, and after each animal, wash or use hand sanitizer. And then afterwards, after they're done with the petting zoo, give the real good hand cleansing, and just to make sure that they don't get sick.
Yeah, I was just going to say, always good to have that hand sanitizer.
Yeah, I mean, if it's an easy way to clean off the hands quickly, nothing I think really beats a good, warm water soap kind of scrubbing. But for a quick fix, the hand sanitizer will do a good job. It's
amazing, Eben, how many people have backyard chickens as pets and such. That's a big thing now.
Well, yeah, people, they'll keep poultry as pets, or there are a lot of people who just have a small, almost like a farm just for their family. They raise the chickens. That's, free eggs, if you think about it. And, maybe they raise the chickens themselves for slaughter so they can have chicken dinners and whatever. It's a pretty common thing, and the kids get involved in it and whatnot. It's again, there's really nothing wrong with it, but there is the concern of a bacteria. That's why we tell them to wash their hands after they're done dealing with the animals, and it'll really reduce the chances of contracting something like salmonella. Nothing is ever going to be 100% foolproof, but we can live with 99.99999%.
Right, people swear by those backyard grown eggs. Seeing is believing, I guess, or eating is believing.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, you just think about it this way. You're controlling the feed of the chickens, so you know what's going into the eggs when you eat them. So for a lot of people, it brings some peace of mind. And there are a number of people who do it, and they say that it's actually it can be a real cost saver because eggs can be a staple in everyone's diet, and they're not going to eat all the eggs, so whatever the family's not going to use, they sell them at a farmer's market and make the money back to feed the birds. And, it ends up being a self-sustaining way to help feed your family and educate the kids on livestock and food cycles and things like that. It's a pretty interesting thing to do. Just got to be a little careful and make sure that your kids don't get sick.
Eben, thank you.
You're welcome.
Eben Brown joining us, Fox News Radio, exclusively on KIDO Talk Radio. This just in, gross domestic product at 4%, 4.1%. Say what you want about Donald Trump. Say what you want about Donald Trump. When is the last time in America that you can recall that the GDP is at 4%? Remember Mr. Wonderful, old Obama, at 580-5436, 580-KIDO, when he said that 1% would be the new norm? Gross domestic product, 4.1%. What did Bill Clinton used to say? It's the economy, stupid. Think about that at 580-5436, 580-KIDO. GDP over 4%. Where is Dave Petzo when we need him the most? I could just hear Dave Petzo going crazy right now. And what does that mean for America? Like him, loathe him, President Trump's got it going on.
The economy was expanding at a very strong pace in the spring quarter. The government says the gross domestic product reading for the quarter is 4.1%. It's the strongest growth since the summer of 2014. Consumers were spending and businesses were investing. The GDP measures all the goods and services in the U.S. The first quarter was revised stronger from 2% to 2.2%. Ginny Cosola, Fox News.
There we have it. At 580-5436, 580-KIDO. And then on the other hand, we have people going after Donald Trump for extramarital affairs.
Michael Avenatti, a lawyer for adult entertainer Stormy Daniels, says he now represents 3 additional women who say they had relationships with Donald Trump and claim they were also paid hush money before the 2016 presidential election. Speaking in West Hollywood yesterday, Avenatti declined to provide further details but called on President Trump and his former attorney Michael Cohen to release information about the relationships. The president's attorney did not immediately respond to an email seeking comment. Carmen Roberts, Fox News.
You know, I love what Tucker Carlson, our Fox News colleague here at KIDO Talk Radio, calls Michael Avenatti the creepy porn lawyer. Right? And you and I have been around for quite some time, and if you haven't, maybe you read about the Bill Clinton stuff. I was doing talk radio back then with Clinton and Lewinsky and OJ and all that stuff. The Clinton campaign, that's the time I came up into the public spectrum. And you didn't really have to be in a public spectrum to know that what Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, even before he was elected, it was wrong what he did. But Donald Trump never claimed to be a choir boy. I remember that everybody's saying, and I disagreed with them at the time, but it became public fact. It became the way things were. It doesn't matter what you do in your private life. It's the economy, stupid. Well, if that's the case, GDP at an all-time high. And remember, Obama, the master of lower expectations, telling the entire world that 1% was the new norm for the United States of America. Yeah, when you ship all the jobs overseas, right? Ship all the jobs to China, that's what happens. Now America's back, America's great, and the president's saying it's time to make things in America.
Now you're making your own steel, and the United States is taking in billions of dollars, they never say that, and also jobs, and also we're recreating a giant industry.
It never should have been neglected anyway, right?
These deals were made by people, I don't know if they didn't understand, or if they didn't care, or if they didn't frankly love our country. But we have the worst trade deals ever made in history. But now they're becoming good again.
And the deep state, they're scared, they're afraid, because America is becoming great again. The great economic lion is waking up. We're making steel in America today. People are buying energy from us. What a different world it was under old Obama. You've got GDP over 4%, and at 580-5436, you still have people wanting to get the president out of office. Okay. If that's the case, then let's bring up Obama on charges. Let's bring up Holder on charges. Let's bring up Loretta Lynch on charges. We could go through ad nauseum, Comey, Rosenstein, everyone. And coming up, where's Paul Ryan on Rosenstein's being impeached? Where is that? It's one thing I give the libs in Libville. They stick together. The Republicans usually just stick it to each other. Terry, formerly of State College, Pennsylvania, now here in the great state of Idaho on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, Kevin. GDP, that is an absolute illusion. You know very well, in 3 weeks, we're going to get the revised version of what the GDP really is. It could be right on, could not be. But I know several weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, they were being very quiet, and manufacturing dropped 2 points simply because, we forgot to tell you that most of that manufacturing, that was in military spending. So they spent their big money on military, on some of the initial manufacturing. So did they include it in this one? Kevin, there's like 32 variables here. And we're going to find out. I'll tell you what, I hope that this is accurate. Oh, boy, would that be great. And Mr. Trump absolutely is doing a wonderful job. I mean, he's backing everybody up against the wall and saying, this is the way it's going to be if you want to do business with us. Absolutely.
Now, wait a minute. You're not buying it, but you're hopefully buying it. In other words, you're cheering against yourself, saying you hope you're wrong.
Absolutely. Come on, Kevin, remember, what was the last GDP? Came in at 2.9. Oh, we're going to revise that down to 2.2. Whoop. And then a week later, very quietly, they didn't tell anybody, very quietly, we're going to revise that down to 2. Come on. This is what's been going on for how long by the feds?
When's the last time we've had over 4%, though?
You tell me.
Sniffing.
Absolutely.
Right.
I hope it stays above 2. I'm reluctant to believe that it is above 4, rather. I'm just reluctant to believe that because this is how they manipulate the numbers. Now, everybody's excited now. Oh, it's 4. They're going to go spend more money. Then very quietly later, we'll find out officially, well, it's only actually 3.1 or whatever, but that's the way they
still
deceive everybody.
I'd still say 3.1 is good compared to Obama, who goes, well, it's going to be 1%, and because I say so, because I'm Obama.
Well, and if you consider, let's assume a second that it would be 3.1. Well, gee, being that they revised the last one down to 2.1, that's the whole point. Absolutely, we'll take that. That would be great. And that would be a tremendous growth. So until we hear what the official numbers are going to be, right now they're just giving us the preliminary. And remember, who came out with this? This wasn't the feds that came out with this. Who put this out?
Well, the president.
You're right. He doesn't put the official report out. So, yeah, it's just all illusion.
Well,
President
you're funny because, Terry, you're actually turning me into an optimist.
Uh-oh. Can't have that now. We'd start believing in Jordan up north and all the people that promote her.
That guy. Yeah.
And by the way,
look, that's going to be the biggest mismatch in Idaho politics. Paulette Jordan and her millennial 3 or 4 people that are going to vote for her. Look at what Brad Little did against 2 of the most qualified candidates, well-funded, well-known, very competitive in a primary. Imagine what he's going to do to her and the 10 Democrats living in outside the state, the city-state of Boise.
Well, no, there's 11 of them now. More Californians came.
I'm telling you.
No, hey, get right down to it. The bottom line is I hope that she is thrashed and humiliated beyond recognition. I hope the Democrats in Idaho say, wow, we've got to reconsider everything. I mean, that's what we need because already, we've got more Democrats moving in, and we just don't need that type of lunacy here.
We broke it down. You take a look at the blue surrounding the city of Boise and its growth, and they're trying to spread that blue wave into Meridian, Garden City. You've got folks there that are libs, and here's the thing that I don't understand. And we have our liberal from Libville, Liberal Steve, but at 580-5436, 580-KIDO, everything the libs talk about is negative. Oh, America was bad. America stole the land. America was founded by slave owners. America stole this. Do they have anything positive to be happy about? You know what I'm saying? Their narrative of this country is always negative.
Well, and that's the communist take on it now, isn't it? We will show you how to do it better. They're never going to tell anybody ever, the amount of charity that America has dished out, be it privately and be it through our government. Never will they talk about that. And when they do, they're going to tell you how it was spent improperly. But yet they won't tell you about how Hillary Clinton got $4 million out of Haiti when, in fact, she should have been putting $4 million in, when they had their big hurricane. You're never going to hear those stories. It's a lie upon a lie upon a lie upon a lie. I'm telling you what, I think that liberal Steve, Democrats, they all take the same kind of medicine. I don't know what it is, but it definitely creates an alternate reality. And they're somewhere over there where they really just aren't quite, in the same place that the rest of the world's at. But nonetheless, keep pounding them, Kevin. And Cindy, you do need a boyfriend. Not necessarily a boyfriend, just a male friend, somebody you can spend some time with and relax and have good conversation, and spend time in the Word together. Stay on Liberal Steve. Maybe you can convert him. That would be a blessing.
You're suggesting a partnership between Cindy from Caldwell and Liberal Steve?
Well, coffee. Just coffee. I
don't know who would get a word in edgewise.
Well, maybe I don't know. Maybe they're both taking the same medicine. I don't know.
Terry, I have to run on that one.
That was a good one. You have a good day, Mr. Miller. Oh, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. More of your calls next. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Scott in Caldwell with Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, sir. Great to hear you as always. As I'm listening to you talk about this situation with Stormy Daniels and these other accusers,
I go back and to history when I was reading about the biography of Benjamin Franklin. Both he and Abraham Lincoln admitted that they had hired prostitutes. They weren't proud of it, but, they admitted that they did stupid things. And I think this whole thing is a smokescreen. Morality with the accusers has never been an issue when it involved people like President Clinton. And I think that it's a huge mistake to say that great people never made mistakes. You all can find that everybody makes mistakes. I think that you have the potential for Trump to be a truly great president. Now, I don't think that he has ever denied the fact that he made stupid mistakes. But if you look and you see the gift, the incalculable gift that Benjamin Franklin gave to us, I can't imagine tearing him from history, tearing all of the gifts and achievements that he gave us just because he made some stupid mistakes. By the way, did you ever own any Angel Flight pants?
Mm-mm. Not that I'm aware of.
You were talking about the glory of the 70s?
Right.
Somebody thought it was a good idea to give men bell-bottoms, platform shoes, and slacks with no back pockets.
I was not a fan of the bell-bottoms.
Well, I wasn't either. And those platform shoes, I don't know how many times I slipped on the ice with those things.
Scott, you have a great day, sir.
You too. Have a great weekend.
I appreciate that. And by the way, as a public service announcement, men, stay away from the platform shoes. Let them rest in the ash heap of history. Traffic and weather together, KIDO Talk Radio. You're listening to 107.5 FM, 580 AM, KIDO Talk Radio, your home for Kevin Miller Morning, Sean Hannity Afternoons, and Fox News on the radio, exclusively in the Treasure Valley. Good morning.